There was a male skater who showed up, identified as a woman. I knew this was wrong. Am I the only one who's recognizing what's going on here? My name is Taylor Silverman, and this is my story. I grew up in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I have one older sister, and we were raised by a single dad. My dad is my biggest role model. He is my best friend. I can call him and talk to him about anything. He raised us in the best way he could. I'm really grateful for him. One of my earliest memories with my dad would be going down in the basement to his at-home gym and watching him work out and him teaching me things that I could do as a little girl. We had bases set up in the backyard so that we could go out and have softball scrimmages with the family. And it was a huge part of my life. I knew that being involved in athletics in some way, even if it was just going to the gym on my own, was going to be a part of my life forever. And luckily, I found something that I was passionate enough about that I wanted to continue doing it every day, and that was skateboarding. There would be local contests in the area, and I would go and do them. In 2018, I went to California, and that was also the first time that I was in a division with a man who identified as a woman. I thought this was really odd. I was surprised that people went along with it. I thought, this is going to be something people see happen and think is ridiculous and don't allow again. I kept on traveling, competing, and then fast forward to 2020, I went to a contest in Chicago. It was like a ladies' day contest, and again, there was a male skater who showed up, identified as a woman. This person absolutely mopped the floor with us. I placed second, the skater took first place, but I knew it was wrong. In the back of my head, I knew this was wrong, and I was like, am I the only one who's recognizing what's going on here? It was very isolating to feel like all these other girls were actually brainwashed to believe that it was okay for them to lose out on opportunities in order to be nice. A friend of mine told me about this qualifier for a Red Bull contest, and if you get first place, you win $500. So I did that qualifier, and I won. I was getting, pretty excited about this finals event, thinking I might have a shot to place here. A couple hours before this finals event takes place, I am made aware that there is a man in the women's division. He did not compete in the qualifier the day before, but I found out he had been traveling state to state to these other qualifiers and collecting $500 at every stop. Unfortunately, I wasn't that shocked when I found this out because of the experiences that I had had before with this happening in other states. If I spoke up, could I face violence? Would I be kicked out of the park? Would I be able to participate at all and even have the opportunity to place second or third and take any money home? So I made the quick decision to just do my best, and the male skater who identifies as a trans woman took first. I placed second. Here, this wasn't a case of, choosing between two really good runs, who the favorite was, or who had the best style, or what trick they liked the best. This was a very obvious advantage. It was clear for everyone to see. One of the judges straight up told me he knew it was wrong. He wouldn't say anything, though. It was just mind-blowing. This is the Leah Thomas of skateboarding. So I emailed Red Bull, and I explained to them what had happened, how it had financially impacted me and all the girls who were pushed back behind me. But I believe in doing the right thing, even if it's not the popular thing. And that email was never responded to. So I had a breaking point one day. I shared the email I had sent to Red Bull, and I posted on Instagram. Within, I'm talking seconds, my phone starts blowing up. And I thought, what did I just do? I think I may have just changed my life forever. My face is all over the news. My name is all over the news. There are people saying, oh, you're transphobic, you're hateful. I was this isn't about trans people. This is about female athletes having a fair place to compete. That's not transphobia. That is advocating for fairness in women's sports. When I first posted this, I immediately lost like 1,000 followers. But literally within the next couple hours, I gained like 15,000. I started to realize how many people really cared about this. There were even people who messaged me to tell me that they identified as trans and they agreed with me and they supported me. I started looking at these comments and I realized that people who I had skated with before, people who I had even like grabbed a beer with after a skate session, who had never said anything like this to me before, who are now telling me that I am a white colonizer. Like, people were literally saying this, like, go kill yourself. I had noticed this theme amongst people who were on the left, who pushed males who identify as trans should be included in women's sports and women's spaces, and they all ignore facts in order to push their agenda. I haven't heard any arguments that I thought were good enough to think that men should be included in women's sports yet. If someone wanted to have that discussion, I could have that discussion. But they don't want to. I got a text from a friend who I skated with, and he said, "Oh my gosh, they're talking about you on Tim Pool right now." And I was like, "Who's Tim Pool?" He's a podcaster. He'd been to skate contests. He is a skateboarder. And he understood exactly how this happened. He did criticize me for not speaking up sooner, which I criticize myself for all the time. And when I did talk to Tim on the phone, he was like, "We're gonna fly you out tomorrow. You're coming out to Timcast. We got a skate park." And I was like, "Oh, skate park, cool. Like, I'll definitely come out there." I ended up staying for a week. At the end of the week, he asked if I wanted to move out and like come work there. So I ended up starting at Timcast. If I hadn't spoken up about this, I wouldn't be working where I work now. I wouldn't have all the new friends that I have. I could not deal with the thought of what it would be like if I had a daughter who went through this one day and I had to tell her that I didn't say anything about it when it happened to me. Even if I lost everything, even if nothing changed, I would not be able to look a daughter in the eye and tell her that I didn't speak up for her. I think it's really sad that we have reached a point where saying something true, something's common sense, is considered brave. I said the truth. And what does that say about our society when something as simple as that is considered brave? Like, that should just be normal. I don't want a world where you can't share a different opinion. And that seems to be what the left wants right now. This isn't an issue of people who identify as trans versus women. This is an issue of truth versus lies. I think it's a pretty easy decision for most people to choose what side you'd be on there. For me, it's truth. Thank you for watching this video. To keep PragerU videos free, please consider making a tax-deductible donation.